So England will be playing Slovakia in the round of 16 of the Euros, and as we all know, so far this tournament has not been perfect for our boys, has it? Coming through the group, got a first win against Serbia, nice and standard stuff, 1-0, but we all know what the vibe's generally been. After that 35th minute of that first game, we've been on Park the Bus FC the whole rest of the tournament, and that now can't continue. But frankly, that doesn't really matter now because we have gone through the group. It doesn't matter how shit you are during the group stage, it's how good you are in the knockouts, really. As long as you get through, it's fine. And we have gotten through top, in all fairness, right? Like, looking at the small amount of positives in this whole thing, we have still gone through top. So we've gotten to the favourable side of the group. I think the only real potential issues on our side of this knockout now is Austria, because they look insane under Ranić at the minute, and Switzerland, potentially. Either them or Italy, whoever wins out of those two teams, really. The only other team that could potentially be in the mix for it is probably the Netherlands, but either way, with the talent that England have, they should be getting to the final at this stage, really. But it's down to that man to get a tune out of those players. That's literally it. But it's such a massive opportunity. If you look at that list of players that you've got in there, you've got winners, right? Like, you've got your Trents, you've got, I was going to say your Kanes, but he ain't won fuck all. Your Bellingham, you've got people that have won shit. Foden's won like a bajillion trophies, probably more than his fucking age at this stage. They can't be having shit like this with the way that they're playing. They know that they're playing like shit. That's the thing. They will know that as professional athletes. And they'll know themselves that they don't deserve to be top of that group with how they're played. But they are still there. And at the end of the day, they're 4 games away from a trophy. Now, the other side of the group, which they have avoided, is significantly more difficult. You've got France, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, all the actual proper nations, Germany in there as well, obviously. But they've got to go at each other. And neither of them, obviously none of those teams are going to want to go out, are they? So they're going to go for it. You've got to think that if it comes to a final, potential injuries get picked up, depleted energy, all that stuff can play a factor. And when you're looking at England's side of the group, on paper you'd be absolutely laughing. But obviously focusing on who they are actually going to be playing, Slovakia, right? So a couple of decent players, right? On terms of on paper, you've got Lobotka, Skriniar. I think they've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1, so somewhat similar to England in that sense. They're going to set up as Slovenia did, aren't they? Slovakia, Slovenia. They're going to set up the same way. It's going to be the 2 banks of 4 strikers that are just going to come right back and defend it. Yeah? And it's going to be up to England to break them down. Realistically, with the quality that they've got, you've got to think that they should be able to. But actually, speaking of Slovakian players, I think even the old Norwich boy Duda scored for them the other day, which is a bit of a weird one. But realistically, that attacking prowess that England do possess, because we've seen it all season. They've got 160 something goals between the 4 of them: Saka, Foden, Bellingham, and Kane. Outrageous fucking numbers. But if they can just click, that's all it takes. Just one positive attacking performance. The nation will be behind them. Southgate will be the best thing since sliced bread again. Everything will look perfect. They'll get some confidence. You'll start to feel like there's a bit of belief behind things. But they need to be given the license to play that way. And with how they're set up, they're not at the minute. But once that's done, you've got to think you're going to be back in business, surely. And they can't mess it up, right? So when it does come to that starting 11, obviously everybody's going to have different opinions on who should play where and who's going to do what. But just to run through what I think he'll do, and then what I kind of would like to see Southgate do. So he's going to have the same back 5. I think despite Trippier playing like absolute shit, they're all going to keep playing the way that they are. I think he'll have his 2 pivots as Mainu and Rice, who again, Mainu came on, looked way better in that Slovenia game than what Gallagher did. Again, that was his whole experiment, wasn't it? And then he hooked him after 45 minutes, which was hilarious. And then it comes to his attacking 3. I think he'll go Saka, Bellingham and Gordon. I just have an inkling that Saka will keep his place. Obviously, Foden, I believe, has come back to the country for some sort of family issue or something. So he's not actually training with the squad at this stage. So that opens up even more opportunity for Gordon to play. And not to mention, he played for like 4 minutes against Slovenia, and it was the best that we looked on that left-hand side all tournament. because it's provided nothing having Foden on there. And then he's obviously not going to drop his captain, is he? He's going to keep backing Kane. And yeah, whether we agree with it or disagree with it, I genuinely think that's what the most likely thing is to happen. But in terms of what I'd like to see from it, I think you keep the same back five, but Trippier cannot play that next game, just purely based on how he's performed, right? Like, if you look at it from like a form perspective, you win tournaments on form. His form is bollocks. So you bring in someone else, anyone else. Grant, this is the problem. He hasn't got a natural left back because the one he selected is fucking injured the whole time. So I've heard a couple of things on the internet potentially about Saka going in there. Now that would be really cool, but we're going to cover that in another video. So I think, and maybe it's this bias up here, but I think there's an obvious answer, and it's Joe Gomez. Genuinely, the bloke is obviously not a natural left back either, but Southgate loves this fucking defensive solidity. Gomez certainly isn't going to go forward. And realistically, we should probably have players that go forward against Slovenia, but I'm trying to think about what he would like in there. And, to be fair, the bloke actually has played left-back virtually all season for Liverpool. He's played all across that back three, and he can do it, and I would not even argue it. He can clearly do it better than what Trippier can. That's not hard. Trippier is so one-dimensional with that right foot, and his delivery's good and all that, but he's also slow. He's looked poor on the ball. Gomez isn't exactly a fucking baller by any stretch in terms of his actual ball control and things like that, but he can play in that position and he can cover it well, I think. Then, you come to your midfield too. This is what I've been crying out for the whole tournament personally. I don't think Bellingham's a 10. I think Bellingham's an 8, and I think everybody knows that Bellingham's an 8. So why not stick him next to Rice? Again, you're playing fucking Slovakia. It's not Brazil. You don't need two, holding pivot midfielders. If you desperately want one, you slot Mainu in who can link it all up a bit better. He's not as one-dimensional as, say, a Calvin Phillips, who he clearly fucking loves so much. So I think you play Rice and Bellingham slightly further back, because along that attacking three, I think you go Gordon, I think you go Foden as a number 10, and honestly, I think you either go Palmer based on how he looked when he came on, or you could do Saka. I think when it comes to England and how they've attacked, both the two goals have come from that right-hand side, and that has all been Saka. So it might be a bit harsh taking him out of that position, but if not, he could potentially play left-back for all we know, who knows. So one of those two on that right-hand side. Then up front, I think you back Kane, but you cannot give Kane 90 minutes. There is no two ways about it. That man cannot stay on the pitch for 90 minutes. He's fucking slow. He doesn't do the hard yards because he physically can't anymore. And you can't... If you want to keep him fresh for the whole tournament, he's not a spring chicken anymore. You need to be able to rotate him. And what's the most annoying thing is that you've got the players there to do it. You've got Watkins, who's come off the back of a 20-goal season in the Prem. He's been amazing, and he's rapid. You've got Tony, you might as well not have fucking gone at this point. You've got players there that can rotate with Kane and do a good job and change how they play, because Kane does always drop in. Whether he should do or not, that's what he does. It's almost like the Rooney effect. Like when he got older and slower, he played further back. Strikers seem to do it to just try and get more involved in the game because they can't beat a man on the final shoulder anymore, which isn't necessarily the right thing to do, but it's what we can see happening. Watkins can do that. Tony can do that. They can run past people and offer a different dimension attacking-wise, which England need to try and do, because they are very predictable and they don't seem good enough at the minute to break teams down any other way. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on how I think we should probably set up for this game. I don't think we will by any stretch, but at the end of the day, as long as England win, who really cares? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and make sure you do subscribe if you are enjoying these videos.